Hello guys, welcome back to our channel, and this is part 7 of percentage and fractions. So today we are going to discuss some more of the problem sums, and we are going to see some more concepts. So I figured that if I have to introduce some small concepts, I'll do it with the help of examples, and we'll do it with the help of some problem sums, so that the major concepts, the upcoming major concepts, can take up separate lessons. I can do them in separate sessions, so that's why today we'll discuss both concepts and questions in a single session. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start our session. Okay, so basically all of the questions, every question has some new concepts. Okay, so that's why I selected these questions. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question says that in an examination it is required to get 35% of the aggregate marks to pass. So the passing percentage is given over here, is 35%. Rishu got 216 marks and was declared failed by 5% marks. Then what was the total marks? So first understand what it says. Okay, you are giving an examination, and most of the time, let's say that the total marks is 100, and let's assume that the passing percentage is 40%. So you got certain marks. Okay, so let's say you got 38. Now since the total marks is 100, then you can you can assume everything to be in percentage. So if you get 38% of marks, then automatically you are failed by you failed the examination by 2% of marks. So in order to get 40% marks, what you got is 38%. Then to pass, you have to get 2% of marks more. So this is the concept. Okay, so let's take an example. Alright, let's take an example. Say you are giving an examination, and the passing percentage is 30%. Okay, and one student got 200 marks and you got 150 marks. The student getting 200 marks is passed by, say, 10% of marks, and you failed by 15% of marks. Alright, so if the passing percentage is 30, how would you find out the, so that say the question asked is what is the total marks? Okay, so this is student 1 and this is student 2. Student 1 got 200 marks and he passed the examination by 10% marks, and student 2 got 150 and he failed the examination by 15% marks. Okay, that's fair and square. So the student who got 200 marks is passed by 10%, and the student getting 150 marks is failed by 15%. Okay, now this equation, we are equating, what we are equating here is the main concept over here. So we are equating the passing marks. Okay, so in order to equate the passing marks, what we have to do, what we have to do, so 200, the one getting 200 is passed by 10% marks. So if we have to know the passing marks, then it should be 200 minus 10%, because he crossed the passing marks by 10%. So in order to get the passing marks, we have to decrease 10%. And similarly over here, this student got 15% less than the passing marks. So to get the passing marks, we have to cross the barrier by 15%. So suppose this is pass, say 30% or whatever it is. here towards full marks, in here towards 0. Okay, so suppose the one getting 200, the one is getting 200 and crossing the passing line by 10% would be in this side, and the other student would be in this side. So in order to stand, if both the student needs to stand over here, one needs to get his marks decreased by 10, and this one needs to get increased by 15%. So this is the concept over here. Okay, now let's see the sum. Okay, yes, so one student Rishu got 216 marks and was declared failed by 5%. So 216 and 5%, and here it's given that 35% is the passing marks. 35% is the passing marks. So in order to get to the passing percentage, this student needs to have 5% of marks more than what he has got. So if we equate now, so 30% would be equal to 216 and 10% will be equal to 216 by 3, which is equal to 72, and the total marks, which is 100%, will be equal to 720. This is the answer. This is the answer. Total marks would be 720. Alright, so let me just repeat it once again. So Rishu got 216 marks and is failed by 5% marks. So 216 marks and 5% marks, failed by 5% marks, and the total pass percentage is 35. So automatically Rishu has to get 5% marks more to pass. Okay, so this is this sign of getting more marks. So 30%, if we equate now, 30% will be equal to 216. Now 10% would be equal to 72, and 100% equal to 720. So this was our first sum. So let's move on to our second sum. The second sum says the price of petrol went up by 20%. In order to keep the expenses same, Ram must reduce his travel by dash percentage. So this is another concept, and let me take a blank screen. Okay, so the concept says this is price and this is travel, this is expenses. So suppose, let's not take travel over here. Okay, let's say consumption. Okay, so the concept over here is let's say the price of rice has been increased by say 20%. Okay, price of rice has been increased by 20%. So by now we know that 20% is 1 by 5, and upon increase of 1 on 5 we get 6. Alright, so 1 unit has been increased. Now the question would ask, one type of question would ask is by how much percentage the consumption should be changed if the expenses have to be kept constant, and the other one would just say how much is the consumption change, how much is the change in expenses. So when you will be asked to keep your expenses constant, so in that case what we should do is we should assume a value, and that value should be an LCM or a common multiple of these two. Alright, so over here the common value is, common multiple is 30. So in order to get to 30 we have to multiply this with 6 and 5 over here. So the change in consumption is decrement of 1 unit. Okay, 1 unit has been deducted from 6, and then we get 5 to make the expenses constant. So now here the percentage change would be 1 by 6. Why not 1 by 5? Because the original value is 6 and 1 unit has been taken, so that's why it should be 1 by 6 and not 1 by 5. Suppose for example, suppose in 2010, okay, the family income was X, and then in 2011 it was Y. So the change has been from X to Y, not from Y to X. So that's why X is the reference number over here, the reference number over. So that's why it should be 1 upon 6 into 100. That means 16.67% change. Okay, so this was the example. Now let's see what our question has asked us. So the price into travel would be equals to expenses. Now the question says the price of petrol went up by 20%. So from 5 units it got to 6 units, and then it asks us if the expenses have to be kept constant. So the common multiple is 30. Then by how much percentage? Then by how much Ram must reduce his travel. So to get to 30, we have to multiply it by 6 and have to multiply it by 5. These are in units. All in units. Okay, it's so there is a change of 1 unit, and that too it's decrement. Okay, so as I said in the example, 1 unit change on 6 units. So the change is 16.67%. I hope I don't have to repeat this one, because it's the same example that I took earlier. So this is the concept and this is the answer. Okay, so let's move on to our next one. Okay, so this one says if the length and breadth of a rectangle field are increased, the area is increased by 50% and the length is increased by 20%. So find out by what percentage the breadth has been increased. So if we carefully look at the question, it says that the percentage increment in breadth is required to be calculated. So it is already indicating us that the breadth has also increased. So can we not apply the successive method? Yes, we can, because net increase is already known, right? Net increase is 50%, because the area of rectangle is length into breadth. So if the resultant effect is known, then we can, and one entity is given and you have to find the other entity. So it's very easy, right? So net effect is given 50% and that to positive, so I'm not taking any sign over here. Then solving percentage. Okay, 20%, let the percentage increase be x% plus 20 into x divided by 100. So this is 5. So this is x and this is x by 5. So by adding we get 6x by 5. So now we have 30% equals 6x by 5. So we get cancelled, 6 and 30 gets cancelled, and so x we get as 25%. Alright, now if you want to cross check with 25 and 20 and then see that if it's coming to be 50%, we can also do that. Okay, so one is 20% and the other is 25%. So it's 20 into 25 by 100, and cancel we get 5, and this is 45 and plus 5, so it comes to be 50%. So our approach was right. Okay, so this was our third question. Let's move on to a fourth one. Now it says that Aditya's salary is 80% of Amit's salary and 120% of Rajiv's salary. What is Amit's salary? Rajiv's salary is 30,000. Okay. Now this question has a little bit of use of ratio, so I'll explain the small concepts over here only. Okay. So it asks that, it says that Aditya's salary is 80% of Amit's salary, and it has an and over here, okay, which joins the question. Aditya's salary is 80% of Amit. So let's say Aditya, Amit and Rajiv. Aditya's salary is 80% of Amit's salary. So 80% of Amit's salary. So if we take Amit's salary to be 100%, and then Aditya's salary is 80%, so the ratio would be 4:5, right? 4:5, because Aditya's salary is 80% of Amit's salary. Amit's salary is 100, so 80 and 100, so it would be 4 and 5 if we cancel it by 20. So that's why it's 4 and 5. And this and is for Aditya. Okay, so Aditya's salary is 80% of Amit's salary, comma, Aditya's salary is 120% of Rajiv's salary. So if Aditya's salary is 120% of Rajiv's salary, then the ratio would be, so 120% means 6/5, yeah, because 100% plus 20%, so it's 1 plus 1/5. So that's why it's 6/5. Okay, so Aditya's salary is 6/5 of Rajiv's salary, right? So say Aditya is 6 and Rajiv is 5. Now over here, in both these ratios, which one is the common one, or which one is the connecting one? So we see Aditya present over in the first one, and then Aditya also present over in the second one. So we can say that Aditya is the connecting one. Now what you need to do is take a blank screen. Okay, what you need to do is place the connecting one in the middle. Okay, Aditya, and on the left and right side you can keep either Rajiv or Amit. So if Aditya is the connecting one, okay, Aditya is 4 and 6. Aditya is 4 and 6. Okay, let's do it over here only. Alright, otherwise there will be a problem. So let's clear all these. Okay, so Aditya, let's say Aditya, Rajiv and Amit. So Aditya is 4 and 6, and Rajiv is 5, and Amit is also 5 on the upper hand. Yes. So okay, let me remove the above one so we can do it with the final one only. Okay, Rajiv, Aditya and Amit. So Aditya's is 4 and 6, Amit's first one is 5, and Rajiv's second one is 5. So how to fill this one? So there is a blank over here and there is a blank over here also. So what we do is we take the neighboring digit and we fill it. Okay, 4 and this one is 6. So we get the ratios. We have completed the ratios and we vertically multiply them. Okay, now if there is any common between all these three, we can cancel them. So 2 is common over here, 2 is common over here, and 2 is common over here also. So we cancel 2 over here, 3 over here. So it's 10 is to 12 is to 15. So this is the ratio of their salaries. Okay, now it says that Rajiv's salary is 30,000. okay, now the first and foremost thing about ratio is everything we see here over here is in units. Okay, everything is in units. So Rajiv's salary is 30,000, so 10 units equals to 30,000. so 1 unit would be equal to 3,000. right, now it asks what is Amit's salary, so we just multiply it by 3,000. right, it comes out to 45,000. alright, so this was the sum. Now let me just repeat it once again, and I think the rest of the questions I'll take it in the next session. okay, so it says Aditya salary is 80% of Amit's salary, so Aditya is to Amit is 4:5, and Aditya is to Rajiv is 6:5. so Aditya is 6 and Amit is 4. I'm showing you another concept. okay, this one would be of balancing. okay, so if we have to connect both these ratios, we have to see the connecting one. so connecting one over here is Aditya, but the values are not same. so for the value to be same, what we have to do, we have to multiply it with a common one. okay, so 4 and 6 was a common one. The first thing the first number that comes in my mind is 12, so 4 into 3 and 6 into 2. So you have to multiply both Aditya and Amit, and over here also both Aditya and Rajiv. so this one comes to be 12, and this one comes to be 15, this one comes to be 12, and this one comes to be 10. so Aditya is 12 units, Rajiv is 10 units, and Amit is how much? 15 units. Now this value is given, Rajiv's value is given, Rajiv's salary is given, so 10 units is equivalent to 30,000. alright, 30,000. so what's asked? The salary of Amit. Amit's salary would be, so if 10 units is 30,000, so 1 unit would be 3,000. so Amit's salary would be 15 units into 3,000, that would be 45,000. okay, so let's keep it to this till this, and in the next session I'll continue with the next sums. 1 2 3 4 remaining, 4 are remaining, so I'll name the next session as part 7, session 2. so please stay tuned to this channel, and stay tuned for further lectures, and God bless you, and thank you.